You walked away. Finally, after countless moments of turmoil, pain, and exhaustion, you chose to cut off all contact with the narcissist. And yet, why do you still feel uneasy? Because when you fall silent, they begin to speak in the most ruthless way possible. This channel is not a place for blame or complaints. It's a space for you to understand what really happened, to free yourself from guilt, and to learn how to rebuild trust in yourself. In today's video, I'll share with you 7 common behaviors narcissists display after you've gone completely no contact. These are not just impulsive reactions. They are calculated strategies designed to maintain control, distort the truth, and pull you back into the same old cycle of hurt. If you've ever felt hollow inside, second-guessed your decision to leave, or found yourself haunted by how they continue manipulating those around you, watch this video to the very end, because only when you understand deeply can you break free deeply. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because here you are no longer alone. I'm here with you to shed light on the darkness, one truth at a time. They recruit allies, a covert campaign of manipulation. The moment you go silent, the narcissist starts to speak, but not in the way you might hope. They don't reflect, they don't heal. Instead, they initiate a quiet campaign, a calculated mobilization, and you are the target. One of the first things a narcissist does after you cut them off is tell their version of the story, but it's not the truth. It's a twisted, dramatic version in which they play the role of the wounded victim, betrayed by someone heartless, which, of course, is you. They approach your friends, your family, your co-workers, even people who barely understand the situation. They whisper, cry on cue, evoke pity, and plant seeds of doubt. They say things like, "I gave everything, and she/he still walked away coldly. I only wanted to love them, but they didn't know how to value it. They're unstable, hot and cold. I really tried." This is the art of emotional manipulation, making others pity them while gradually isolating you from the very arms that used to comfort you. You might hear your loved ones say, "They seemed so hurt though. Are you sure it wasn't just a misunderstanding? I think you should talk to them again, give them a chance." And suddenly you begin to doubt yourself, even though it took everything you had just to walk away. This is the beginning stage of the narcissist's psychological counterattack. They don't need to touch you to control your emotions. They use others to do it. They don't seek allies because they're truly lonely. They do it because they need someone to stand with them in this war of narratives. They fear losing control, and they know their image matters far more than the truth ever will. If you're going through this right now, I want you to remember one important thing. You don't have to justify the truth. You lived it. You know exactly what was real and what was a performance. And anyone who chooses to believe their story without ever asking for yours may have never truly stood by your side in the first place. Hold firm to your truth. You are not alone, and you are not crazy. 2. They flaunt a new supply, not out of love, but because of you. After you leave, the narcissist almost immediately appears with someone new. A new love, a special person, a soulmate. All the titles they once gave you, now suddenly given to someone else. Far too quickly. And the most painful part? They don't hide it. In fact, they showcase it, flaunt it, and deliberately make sure you see it. On social media, they post photos holding hands. They travel. They write captions filled with hidden jabs like, "Finally found someone who truly understands me." Healing isn't loneliness. It's meeting the right person. Everything seems to say you were the problem. They're fine now, stable, even happy, as long as you're not in the picture. So you want the truth. This isn't love. This is theater. And you, the one who just escaped the vortex of abuse, are being pulled back in through the most brutal method: comparison, provocation, and the message that you were easily replaceable. Narcissists don't love the way you think they do. They're emotionally dependent, but they don't emotionally connect. They didn't choose the new person because that person is special. They chose them because they need a new mirror to reflect their ego, a fresh supply to give them the illusion of power, control, and admiration. And if seeing it makes you feel hurt, jealous, or shaken, that's exactly the point. They want you to come back, but not because they love you, because they want to keep playing the role of the one in control. So if you see them seemingly happy with someone new right after the breakup, don't trust the surface. They didn't move on from you. They're punishing you for daring to walk away. And you know what enrages them more than anything? Not your pain, but your silence. When you stop reacting, when you don't check their stories, when you don't stalk their new account, when you focus on your healing. If you feel discarded, humiliated, or crushed by their new happiness, remember this. You weren't left behind, you were set free. What they have with the new person is not love, it's the survival strategy of an empty self. You don't need to reclaim any place. Your place is within yourself, where you are slowly becoming whole, strong, and free day by day. And if you've ever felt the sting of seeing the narcissist parade their new partner so openly, so coldly, as if you never existed, remember, that's not love. It's their final manipulation designed just for you. But here's what's even more terrifying. What if you don't react? What if you hold your boundaries, stay away, and refuse to be drawn into their emotional games? Then they move to plan B, hoovering, pulling you back in, a more subtle, sweeter, and far more dangerous tactic. Because this time they won't hurt you by attacking, but by offering hope. Before we go further, if this video is resonating with your personal experience, hit subscribe and share your story in the comments. You're not just healing yourself, you're reminding someone else out there that they are not alone. 3. Hoovering. When the narcissist sweetly returns to pull you back in. If flaunting their new supply didn't shake you, if you held your boundaries and refused to react, the narcissist will move on to the next phase, hoovering. This is when they suddenly become sweet, understanding, and reasonable in a way that feels almost unreal. They return with gentle messages, sincere apologies, even tears. I've been thinking about you a lot. I was wrong back then, but now I realize what truly matters. We deserve a second chance. They're no longer cold or critical like before. They'll resemble the person you once fell in love with. Or more accurately, they'll replay that role just enough to make you believe again. But behind this softness is not love. It's the fear of losing control. Narcissists cannot stand being ignored. They cannot tolerate the feeling of losing someone they once had power over. And if regret can't pull you back, they'll bait you with hope. And the dangerous part is this. If you've just started to crawl out of the initial pain, if you're in a vulnerable place, feeling lonely, or still don't fully understand the narcissist manipulation cycle, you are especially at risk of falling into this trap. You might think, maybe they've really changed. What if this time is different? I wasn't perfect either. Maybe I should give them another chance. But this is exactly when you need to be more clear-headed than ever. Remember this, a narcissist doesn't come back because they love you. They come back because you were a source. Someone who once reacted, who gave them a sense of power, who made them feel important. Hoovering is not redemption. It's a strategy to restart the cycle of abuse. Idealization, devaluation, discard. And every time you return, the cycle repeats, but it cuts deeper, lasts longer, and hurts more. So if you receive a sudden message, call, or apology from the narcissist, don't rush to reply. Ask yourself, why now? Why only after I walked away? And believe this, someone who truly loves you would never need to lose you just to learn how to respect you. 4. Smear campaign. When all attempts to pull you back have failed, when they've flaunted the new person, pretended to feel remorse, whispered sweet apologies, and still couldn't move you, the narcissist changes tactics. At this point, they no longer want you back. They want revenge, and one of the most terrifying tools they use to get it is the smear campaign. Unlike the early stage of recruiting allies, where they played the victim to gain sympathy, the smear campaign is public, aggressive, and brutal. Now they're no longer saying you hurt them, they start painting a completely different image of you. Dangerous, unstable, deceptive, malicious. They will do everything they can to destroy your credibility, reputation, and relationships. She has mental issues, is manipulative and calculating. You should know what they really did behind closed doors. What hurts them most is that these words are often whispered to people who were once close to you. Friends, colleagues, even family. People who may not fully understand what happened and are easily manipulated if they've never seen the narcissist's dark side. This is a subtle form of psychological abuse. Without ever touching you, they cause you to lose trust, feel isolated, and, worst of all, begin to question yourself. Was I really too cold? Did I do something wrong after all? Everyone thinks I'm the villain. Am I going crazy? This is the moment you need to hold on to your clarity more than ever. The truth is, anyone who needs to destroy someone else in order to build their own image has never truly had self-respect. And someone who has to tear you down to win in a relationship never loved you. They only loved the power they once held over you. What to do when you're being smeared? Don't try to explain yourself to everyone. Those who believed lies too easily may have never truly been on your side. Maintain intentional silence. Focus on the truth within you, not the noise outside. Rebuild your safe circle with people who see you, trust you, and know who you really are. And if you've ever experienced the pain of being smeared, share your story in the comments below. You are not alone. Truth doesn't need to scream to survive. It only needs to be held. 5. They wait for you to be weak, then strike again. You might think, I've escaped. You blocked their number, their social media, built strong walls around your life. No more messages, no more trace of them. Silence. Absence. It all seems over. But the truth is, a narcissist never truly leaves. They simply take a step back, hide, watch, wait. If they failed to lure you back with fake remorse, and their smear campaign didn't shake you either, they'll switch to a far more dangerous tactic, waiting for the exact moment you're at your weakest to launch their return. They know when you're in crisis, you lost your job, your new relationship ended, there's family conflict, grief, or even just prolonged loneliness, and somehow they happen to show up again. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. No matter what happened, I'm always here if you need someone. I heard your mom passed. You shouldn't go through that alone. This is not kindness, this is strategy. They know that when you're vulnerable, you're more likely to soften, more likely to need comfort, and no one knows your emotional weak spots better than they do, because they once exploited them. Their return at that moment isn't out of care. It's because they see a door slightly open and they're ready to slip back into your life. And here's the truth you must remember. Someone who once broke you cannot be the one to lift you back up. They are not a safe embrace. They are an unhealed wound. If you let them back in, the same toxic cycle will begin again. But this time, you'll be weaker, more vulnerable, and at greater risk of falling into deeper emotional dependence. 6. They seek revenge. When every manipulation tactic fails, when you don't come back, don't react, and don't collapse the way they predicted, the narcissist doesn't just get angry, they burn with rage. Because in their distorted inner world, your decision to walk away and stand firm is nothing short of a personal insult, an unforgivable humiliation. They can no longer control you. And for a hollow ego built entirely on dominating others, this feels like you've destroyed the very foundation of their power. And so one thing becomes inevitable: they seek revenge. But narcissistic revenge doesn't always look like it does in the movies. It's not always loud or direct. Often it's subtle, calculated, and deeply toxic. They begin to monitor you, secretly watching your stories, creating fake accounts, or asking mutual contacts for updates. Some narcissists even go as far as showing up in places you frequent, pretending it's a coincidence when in fact it's completely planned. They gather clues, listen for gossip, track who you're seeing, what you're doing, how you're living, all to find vulnerabilities, slip-ups, and openings to strike. In more severe cases, narcissists escalate to psychological intimidation, anonymous messages, veiled threats to reveal secrets, even using personal information or private photos to manipulate and instill fear. And in some situations, they won't hesitate to weaponize the legal system through false accusations, spreading fabricated stories, or dragging you into situations where you feel forced to explain yourself for things you never even did. The most terrifying part is they do all of this with a calm, composed face, often managing to make you look like the irrational one. They can manipulate public perceptions so well that people on the outside might think you are the one overreacting, you are the one being dramatic. They can make you feel like you're living in the shadows, as if, even after you've escaped, you're never truly safe. And if you're not mentally prepared, this can push you into panic, depression, and self-doubt all over again. So if you've reached this stage, remember this truth. The narcissist's revenge is never about love. It's the desperate act of a bruised ego. You didn't do anything wrong by leaving. In their eyes, your only crime was having the courage to be free. And that's something they simply cannot tolerate. Protect yourself not just with physical distance, but with emotional strength. Don't confront them. Don't try to teach them a lesson. Don't waste energy trying to prove your side. They're not seeking truth. They're seeking weapons. To instead cut off all access to your life. Revolt their ability to reach you. Lock down your personal information. Stop sharing emotional updates on social media. And, if needed, involve authorities if there are signs of stalking or threats. Revenge is the final chapter for someone who can no longer control you. But your final chapter, it's healing, it's freedom, it's a life no longer ruled by fear. And when you walk away in silence, but with unwavering strength, you've already won, not by retaliation, but by surviving and rising. 7. They want you to live in misery, because to them, your pain is the final victory. When every tactic, hoovering, smearing, stalking, even revenge, fails to move you, the narcissist doesn't simply stop. They may step back, disappear from your sight, and stop causing visible chaos, but inside them lingers a dark, persistent desire. They don't want you to ever be happy. Because for a narcissist, it's not your leaving that drives them insane. It's the fact that you left and thrived. They cannot bear the image of you smiling, loving yourself, or being loved by someone else. They cannot tolerate you reclaiming your worth, the very worth they'd tried so hard to shatter over and over again. They want you to forever doubt yourself. They want you to feel alone, afraid, and stuck in a state of loss. Why? Because only when you're in pain do they retain the last bit of control over your mind. Only when you remember them with tears and resentment do they linger in you like a ghost that still haunts your soul. To them, if they can't have you, they'll make sure you're never yourself again. And maybe, unknowingly, you've fallen into that trap. Living with depression, anxiety, sleepless nights, being haunted by the past, or finding it hard to trust anyone new. That's the outcome the narcissist secretly hopes for. Silent victory. You slowly self-destruct and they never have to lift another finger. But here's something you need to know. The pain you're experiencing is not proof that they were right. It is the consequence of a deep wound, but also the beginning of your awakening. You were not born to live in the emotional shadow of a narcissist. You are not the aftermath of a toxic relationship. You are a person of value, and this pain is not your final destination. The truth is, a narcissist only truly feels defeated when you move on, and move on without them, not with hatred, not with battles, not with revenge, but simply by living, with the peace they will never understand. If you've ever felt haunted by lingering sadness after leaving a narcissist, share your story in the comments below. You are not alone. And this pain isn't a sign of weakness. It's the echo of loving someone who never knew how to love. They want you to stay broken. But you have the power to choose healing, and that is the strongest answer you can give. If you've stayed with me until this moment, I know that you're not just here to learn about narcissistic behavior. You're here looking for answers for yourself, because maybe, deep inside, you've asked, "Is I wrong? Did I deserve this? Why does it still hurt even though I was the one who left?" And I want you to know you were never wrong. You just loved the wrong person, and you have always been worthy of healthy, safe, and wholehearted love. Leaving a narcissist isn't just the end of a relationship. It's the beginning of a journey back to your true self. That journey might feel lonely, unclear, and painful, but it is also the only path to freedom, emotional growth, and one day to a love that doesn't hurt. The narcissist may try to rewrite the story, smear you, lure you back, or hope you stay broken, but they don't get to write the next chapter of your life unless you hand them the pen. And today, by understanding what's really going on, by bravely facing the truth, you've begun to take the pen back. Leave a comment below if this video resonated with you. Sharing your story is not only healing for you, it becomes a light for others who are still lost in the dark. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week here we share content to help you understand, recover, and grow from painful relationships. You are not alone. You are not broken. You were never meant to be left behind. You are on your way home to yourself, and that is a beautiful thing.